Hello and welcome to The Gist. I'm your host, Chris Vetrano, here every week covering all the things happening in pop culture. And today I've got some guests to chat about what's breaking on the internet. They're the hosts of The Social Dose, and they do it the best. So I had to have them come and just kiki about all the things that are happening in pop culture and across the internet. Please welcome Michael Judson Berry and Paris Nicholson. Hey, guys.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. I love the podcast. You guys are always like bringing your fresh takes, and like I love when you guys are a little shady and you guys bring it. So I'm excited to like get into it today.
Oh gosh.
I'm excited too. Listen, on our podcast, we do sometimes have to be a little filtered, and I'm looking forward to being a little less filtered today.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't be filtered. Let's remove all filters right out the gate.
Hashtag no filter.
Hashtag no filter. I mean, I'm only 5'8", so I don't know how much shade I can literally throw, but I'll do my darndest.
Here, I'm 6'2", so you can just stand next to me and I'll cast the shade over you.
Yeah, same. Perfect. We can make a drawbridge over little Michael.
Perfect.
I love it. Well, before we were hitting record, I was telling the guys that my leaf blowers were here right on time just to like be in the mics, but I'm seeing them leave, so I'm pretty excited that it's like the perfect timing.
Oh, beautiful. What an incredible development.
Are they leafing?
They are leaving.
Chris, do you see what I'm working with over at The Social Dose? It's tough sometimes.
I love it. I love it.
It's so fun to see how many times an episode I can make Paris just like groan.
And just die a little.
Yeah, just die just a little.
So on The Social Dose, you guys talk about things that are trending on the internet. So kind of what's the hot gossip that you guys are following right now? Let's just get right into it.
So go ahead, Michael.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was just saying, I was just going to give vowels. You actually had something to say. I didn't have any consonants.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
We've been still gagging on the Barbie of it all. Obviously, last week, the internet was broken when all of the Barbie promotional materials were posted. People started making their owns, and then the memes just really got delicious for a couple days there. I have not yet recovered. My timeline still has scattered little Barbies still trickling through. So that's almost done being talked about, but still a little bit life left in it. Are you excited for this movie, Chris?
Oh gosh, I can't wait. I was dying for the trailer. And we got that like teaser trailer like a few months ago. And I was like, wait, I got really excited. And then it was like 20 seconds long. And I was like, no, this isn't what I want. And I didn't know there was so many people in it. It looks amazing.
No, I had no idea. It's an all-star cast.
I love all of the like the artwork that they're doing where now it's like they've got like Bravo celebrities and they've got like all these random people and they're like, this Ken is like problematic. And it's like amazing.
It's like they've kind of introduced a new meme format.
They did. I think this can be the gift that keeps on giving right up until the movie comes out. Like, I think there's just always they seem so brilliantly in tune with, how to do social media promotions. I just can't wait to see what they come up with next, because I feel like they've got a whole arsenal of really fun things.
Yeah,
they hit it out of the park.
I'm so excited for the movie. I think it's going to be amazing. I've been seeing like all of this talk that like Ryan Gosling is too old for Ken. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Okay.
I think that's mean and rude.
I agree with you. My only thing with looking at him, and I've now looked at other, like, if you look at male celebrities in general, so he's playing Ken, right? So he should just be like flat. My only thing is that clearly, like Margot Robbie, a lot of the women all got like Botoxed out of their minds so that they could have that flat Barbie look. And his forehead, he has like deep wrinkles. I do too, so I'm cognizant of it. But he has big, deep set forehead wrinkles. And I was like, listen, men should have to do the same thing women do. If she had her entire face frozen to play Barbie, he should have had his whole face frozen to do Ken. I don't think he looks old. He just has too much actual natural expression, where to me, he looks like a human being, not a doll. That's been my like controversial opinion about this.
Here's my counterpoint.
Okay.
Michael, I love what you've brought up, because the women are definitely plumped and puckered and ready for this film. But the whole shtick is she's Barbie, he's just Ken. So him looking like a wrinkled old frumpadump could be part of the plot line.
I never said he was a wrinkle fronted up. I still think he's beautiful. I just think he had human expression, which I was not expecting from Ken.
Because he's just Ken. It's going to be like a not all men narrative.
Well, and
not
Ken
all
is
Ken.
such a not all. I feel like Ken is such a doofy doll too. Like I want him to have that flat blank expression, right? Am I wrong about this? Chris, where do you stand? You can be our tiebreaker on this.
Well, I didn't really notice the wrinkles as much because I probably wasn't looking at his face as much as his body. But I think that I don't think he's too old to play Ken. I think that he's going to play Ken. It does seem like they're going to really lean on him being like overly sensitive, which I don't know, that could potentially be problematic in other ways. So I'm curious to see how it comes together. What were your thoughts though? Because seeing the trailer now, Amy Schumer was originally going to be Barbie, and I can't imagine what, like, it doesn't, I can't even see her in this role. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Chris, I've been seeing the most hateful memes directed towards Ms. Schumer in regards to this topic. Everyone just being like, thank God it wasn't her, which like, obviously, yes, we are glad we have Margot Robbie, because it sets a different tone, I think. But don't drag Amy Schumer for a job she didn't even get. Let the woman live.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
she got rejected from this role years ago.
Yeah.
Well, and I think she walked away, right? Because she was like also part of like the writing, I think, crew. And she was just not like the direction that it was going. And so she like stepped away from the project. But I mean, maybe it was going to be completely different, obviously, because I mean, you're talking about wrinkles on Ryan Gosling's face. Like, I can't imagine Amy Schumer in the I don't know that the foot, the perched Barbie foot would have had the same impact if it was Amy Schumer.
Well, it would have been, I think, a very different movie. If it was Amy Schumer like coming in as a co-writer and starring in it, that's a totally different film. But I don't know. I think it looks super fun. I think Margot Robbie's perfect because she looks like a Barbie doll, but she's such a good actress and she's so funny. Like I still am obsessed with her Tanya Harding, which I thought was genius. So I love that she's like more than just like a pretty face, right? So I'm so pumped to see what she brings because she clearly loves to go deep and take chances. Like her and Babylon, like she goes for like balls to the wall. So I can't wait. I think it's gonna be amazing.
I haven't seen Babylon. Is that a mistake? Do I need to see Babylon?
I'm not watching it, and I refuse to.
I think you're okay. I think there's a lot of movies out there. I mean, it looks, I haven't seen it yet either. Not because I was avoiding it, just it hasn't come up in my world yet. But when I see it, I'll let you know. We'll get there eventually. Perfect. I love a wacky period piece.
Then you should watch. Wait, hold on. Which is the one that had Margot Robbie and the Irish guy with the glass eye, and he's and Taylor Swift gets hit by a car? Is that Babylon?
Wait, or is that Amsterdam?
Amsterdam. Am I mixing up Amsterdam and Babylon?
I think you are, but no, I think she's in both. No one knows for sure. But what I do know is that Amsterdam was a fun, whimsical period piece. And I do recommend that.
I will definitely watch it.
Babylon, I don't know.
Taylor is in Amsterdam. I know that one.
Famously getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
Well, where are you guys in the Swiftie world? Are you Swifties or...
I like her.
Michael?
I wouldn't call myself like a Swiftie. I have a lot of I'm Swiftie adjacent. I have a lot of friends who are, in fact, I'm seeing a show tonight with a friend who's a diehard Swiftie. So I feel like it's bled into my world, but I like Taylor Swift. I just don't have a super strong opinion about her. I enjoy her when I hear her, but I wouldn't call myself like a Swiftie.
I mean, her and her relationship ending like broke the internet. So that was,
we just talked about that. Well, here's the thing about that, Chris. Like we were talking about it, and like the breakup itself, as far as Taylor Swift breakups go, is probably like the most blah, neutral, like amicable kind of thing. Like very well produced, sort of, and like well, like publicized. They're like, hey, everyone's happy, it's all good, we're moving on, nothing to see here. But the internet isn't so easily swayed and distracted, because the memes and comments I've been seeing on Twitter, like people being like, keep Pete Davidson away from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like he's going to make his move now, which I'm honestly not that mad about because they are both very tall and it would be a very hot, messy breakup because he's a Scorpio and she is a Sagittarius. So that would be a great album if that were to happen. As far as my relationship with Taylor Swift, I've liked her singles, never got into an album until this last one, the Midnight's album. And now I love it. I'm like, oh, have I been sleeping on Taylor Swift this whole time? So I guess I'm late.
Probably.
I think that's what like is that's the like appeal of Taylor, I think, is that there's so many different eras, not to steal that from her, but she has so many different sounds and eras that like at some point somebody comes in and says, I been sleeping on Taylor Swift? And then they sort of like going back into the catalogs and fall in love.
Find what they like.
Yeah, you forget how varied her career has been. Like, from the he wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, or I wear short skirts, he doesn't. To like when she had her like hip hop album, didn't she try and like rap at one point? Like she's dabbled in everything.
Yeah.
Has she tried to rap, or was that Miley?
No, I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift had like an album where she tried to be like a pop star, and a lot of people loved it.
She's the greatest pop star
so
of
much.
our age.
But then, like, I feel like where she's finding herself now is so great. That still back to that sort of folksy sound. But, and girl knows how to do a hook on a song, I gotta say.
Of course.
Yeah.
Incredibly talented songwriter.
Yeah.
But wait, did y'all see the not promotional photos, but like the set photos of Mia Goth on the set of the new film Maxine by Ty West?
No.
Okay, so it's the third installment of the Pearl Maxine trilogy. It's a horror trilogy starring Mia Goth. But the third one is taking place in like the 80s in Hollywood, and we just got our first glimpse of her as the character, and she looks exactly like a Taylor Swift ripoff. Like blonde curly wig, like early Taylor, and like this denim look, and everyone on Twitter's just been dragging it and saying like, exactly, like our song is the same as screen doors, like just it's giving full Taylor. And I'm like, is that the direction we want to go with this movie? Can Mia Goth do a Taylor? Who knows?
I think so. Mia Goth can do anything, so
that's
amazing. She really can.
I need to see this trailer. I've seen the other two films.
Well, there's no trailer yet. It was just like a little snippet behind the scenes photo.
Okay, so we're not anywhere close to this film yet.
Speaking of celebrities being in movies, the other one that we talked about that we've been following and I'm excited to continue following is Kim Kardashian joining American Horror Story.
Yes.
And people have some very strong opinions about that. I don't know. Have you seen any of this, Chris, of the Kim Kardashian acting transition?
Well, I don't know if we're calling it a transition. I mean, unless we're counting like her Hulu show, because I feel like that's like the most acting that she's done. And maybe she's a phenomenal actress in that sense. But I have seen her in like, I think it was one of the like scary movies, or it was like,
she did it was disaster like movie.
Oh, disaster movie. That's it.
Where she gets hit by a meteor.
Yeah. It was so bad. And I was like, this girl can act. But it's been years and years. She has been on TV. She's more comfortable in front of a camera. But I'm just waiting. I'm like, clearly she's got to be the person that like gets killed off in the first like episode or something.
That's what everyone is saying.
I can't imagine that like Ryan Murphy has gotten to the point where he's like, I've run out of stars and now like we're just moving beyond like people that actually know how to act, and I'm just bringing Kim Kardashian in.
Well, he did that when he brought Gaga on.
That's true. But Gaga has like, I mean, she's been nominated for Oscars. I mean, she has no legitimacy. Paris
I don't see it for Gaga. I've never gotten into her acting at all. And I've tried. I love her. I've been a fan since the beginning. But the acting for me, like that was the first season of American Horror Story that I did not finish. I was like, I can't. At no point are you convincing me that you're not Lady Gaga. You know?
She's like very into this like method thing. And it's a little, that part of it is like too much for me, that she's like so Gaga about it.
The method stuff kills me. Where did you see when she was gearing up for the Oscars, when she thought she was going to get nominated, and they were doing all those actor roundtables to like create buzz around the performances, and she would talk, and the reactions from the other actresses, like the memes and videos out of that, where like I'll never forget the one where she was talking about having to play drunk. And she's so, she like was drinking, doing all these things. And Kirsten Dunst is on the same thing. And it was like a Zoom roundtable. And Kirsten Dunst is just like looking around, like kind of giggling. And then they're like, well, Kirsten, when you play drunk, what do you do? And she goes, I just run in circles really fast until I get dizzy. And then I shoot the scene. And I will never forget that. It was after Gaga was like, I have this approach behind like how I do intoxicated, but and Kristen Dunst literally like, I just spin in circles to make it look like I'm drunk, and then I try and walk. It was such a Kirsten Dunst response too. It was great.
Yeah, when Gaga's like, does anybody else feel like they're really drunk when you drink the prop wine? And everyone else is like, no one else feels that. We have a grasp on reality.
And poor Salma Hayek had to do all those interviews with her, and you see Salma Hayek trying so hard not to roll her eyes.
She hated every minute of that. That movie was the one that I was like, that's not a good Gaga. Like Star is Born, I feel like she sort of like won me over a bit as an actress, but then
really,
I'm a little nervous about Joker. You didn't see A Star is Born?
I couldn't. It literally looked like I was going to watch Bradley Cooper and Gaga just like fart into each other's mouths for 2 hours, 2.5 hours probably. That movie looked so long and boring. I couldn't.
Oh my God. I mean, it was a good movie, but I can understand where your hot take is coming in from that.
My only thing,
I'm sorry.
Is that I was such a bitch with that movie because I'm a huge old movie buff. Like I love old movies, and Judy Garland is one of my all-time favorite actors and performers in general. So her Star is Born to me is like the Star is Born. And I've gotten onto this with like friends who are big Barbra Streisand fans who are like, no, Barbara's is the best one. And then now I'm getting it with like Lady Gaga fans who are like, no, Gaga's the best one. So I feel like I've had to argue that Judy's is the best so many times that now it's just sort of tainted the whole Gaga movie for me because I've been such a Judy stan, which I know I sound like I'm 95 years old right now. But I will. I agree with you, though. I think as far as Gaga's acting goes, that was the best she's done was in that film. But she's playing kind of a version of herself. I did watch it. I thought some of the music was great. I thought Bradley Cooper was good. I just walked out being that, like snobby bitch that was like, oh, well, it was fine, but she's no Judy Garland. I was that guy, which is the worst. Like I will admit I was the worst.
So are we anti-Gaga and music as well, or just an actor?
No. The music, everything about Gaga, I love.
Oh, and
even the acting being
she's
bad,
unreal.
I'm at peace with.
Yeah. Well, and I'm excited to see her Joker because that seems like a great role for her, though, right? Because she is so intense. I am actually really excited to see what she does with it and how she's directed and edited.
I refused to see Star is Born. I refused to see House of Gucci, but this is the first time that I'm like, I might go see this, even though I hate like Joker culture and just like the toxic male vibes that surround it. But I feel like Gaga's really going to play the fool and she's going to be so dumb in it that I have to see. It's going to be bad. I think it's going to be really bad.
Oh gosh, it's going to be like Cats. Like it's just everyone's going to.
Yes.
Nothing's worse than Cats.
Everybody in it is taking themselves way too seriously and they just look so dumb.
That's true. It could be that. I don't know. I'm nervous with Cats. They just announced they're turning another Andrew Lloyd Webber musical into a movie. They're doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat as a film.
Oh, no.
And part of me was like, did we learn nothing from Cats? Like, why? Why are we doing this? But also, that's going to be another real special one where I can't wait for it's like internet, do your thing. It's one of those.
Yeah. I did see Cats in theaters.
Oh, well, you did?
Well, any opinion you had has now just gone.
I'd never seen the show before, and I was like, let me watch this train wreck.
I've never seen any of it. I just can't. I've like seen clips from it, and that's enough. That's I'm like
not a great musical generally.
I can't like find myself to watch that whole movie.
It's a crazy musical. I saw it the last time it was on Broadway, and I don't know. It's if you go into it knowing what it is, where it's going to be like very attractive dancers wearing skin-tight bodysuits that vaguely resemble cat patterns, and then they're going to dance their faces off to nonsensical music for the next 2.5 hours, then you're like, oh, this is great. Yeah. Like I had an aisle scene at one point, this like gorgeous dancer came running down and he did a handstand split right next to me. Like I could have set my drink on his taint as like a side table. I didn't because I would have been escorted out of the theater. I just leaned on it with my elbow because to be fair, I was kind of tired. I need to lean. Anyway, Um, but the dancing was amazing. But on the show, you're just like, what is going on?
What, how, and why?
Yeah.
Anyway,
have you guys heard about Once Upon a One More Time?
wait, that's
Bad Cinderella?
no.
It's Justin Guarini.
No.
And there's someone else in it that I can't remember, but Justin Guarini is Prince Charming,
Yeah.
and it's all the music of Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And it's previewing on Bravo on Broadway in May.
Oh, I am counting down. I love Britney Spears, so I
Same.
cannot wait. Although I was really hoping they were just going to use all Britney's music to make a musical called Lucky and have it be about the character from the song Lucky and have it be her life. I would watch that show.
Would have been amazing.
So it's giving like Disney fairy tale princesses, but set to Britney music?
Yeah. I think that's
I don't know much about the musical, honestly.
There's very little.
Costuming,
but, I know. Yeah, I know Disney. That like he's Prince Charming and that there is like the other fairy tale like princesses and stuff are in it. But how they bring it all together with Britney music, I have no idea. But that to me feels like something I've got to see happen.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
I'm sold.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, good. I'm glad that we're promoting that.
Can't wait.
So I wanted to also, of course, talk to you, Michael, on the Moira Rose of it all.
Oh yeah,
because in COVID, you perfected a Moira Rose impersonation, and you have all these videos now where you're doing it. And my favorite is when you do Moira as the GPS. And I just want to know how do we make that happen? Like, are you in touch with car manufacturers yet, or like Google Maps? Because like that, I need that, and I will consistently be lost, but I would have that voice all the time.
Her directions are terrible. Because she would just Paris, that was adorable. His fiance just popped in and gave him a little kiss.
I'm trying not to pull focus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, sorry. This part of the show is about me. Yeah, I had and the GPS one was fun. And Paris, we talked about this once, where it's like, when you're creating content on social media, you never know what's going to really be the thing that like pops. And I've had so many videos with like where I've played 6 different characters, had all these costume changes, carefully curated a script, and it does okay. And then that one was literally, somebody sent me Laura Bailey's tweet where she said, I need Moira to be the voice of a GPS. I happened to be shooting a commercial in Lancaster, Pennsylvania at the time. And I was too lazy to I was exhausted at the end of shooting. And I was like, I don't need to get in a costume. So I just drove around Lancaster, screen recording my Google Maps, and then took a bath, laid in the bathtub and narrated it and posted it. And to this day, it's my most popular video. And I was like, I wish every video could be me driving around singing show tunes in my car and then sitting in a bath, just like prattling into my phone. And I didn't even like write that one. I just like set the map in front of me and just improvised the whole thing, just sort of like babbled.
That's amazing.
And then I was like, well, this is great. But it was fun. Waze actually has commented on it. So, but I feel like Waze could actually get the real, they could get Catherine O'Hara, right? They could actually get the real.
But she wouldn't do it.
You never know. She's pretty gung-ho. But if she said no, I would happily be, the poor man's Moira Rose. I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Well, and Catherine has commented as well on your impersonation, and she's a rave fan of what you do.
She is, which was very exciting to hear.
So are you a fan of Schitt's, or did you just sort of like come up?
Could you imagine?
Like, wasn't?
That would be amazing. No, I love Schitt's Creek, and I thought I was a big Schitt's Creek fan until I recently went on a cruise. They did this cruise called Moira's Boat Party, and it was all for like Schitt's Creek fans to go and sort of just like go on a cruise together and like dress in costumes and geek out. And I performed on it. And I did like Moira Rose's game show.
Oh, I thought you were just there. I was like, so you really are a fan.
No, I was a performer. But like, I got on the boat thinking like, I've seen all the episodes. I know the show pretty well. Even though like whenever I write sketches, I try and do them more original, which is, I don't reference the show that much. But these fans, they were the nicest people on earth, I will say. Schitt's Creek fans are perhaps the loveliest people, which makes sense because it's such a lovely show. But they like know that show. Like I was doing trivia at one point and I said one thing and they were like, that's not right. That's not correct. Actually, if in like season 3, episode 4, 16 minutes in, they say this. And I was like, oh, but it's one of those shows. I think because it's so beloved, people just like watch it when they're sad, which makes sense to me. So you end up just rewatching it a lot. So I would say I like Schitt's Creek, but after meeting these people, I don't think I can call myself like a proper fan.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that I would. I don't know if I would have that like deep, rich of a history with the show that I would know like the timestamps of.
But I'm not like
quotes.
that with any TV show. Like I think Schitt's Creek is one of my all-time favorites, but I've never gotten so deep into a show. I guess because I feel like there's a lot. You know, people are like that with Friends or like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, The Office. I think there's a handful of shows that have become like that level of huge.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like what are the shows or what are kind of like both of your like pop culture, the things that you like definitely are always tuning in for?
Michael and
it doesn't have to be current either.
Oh,
it is. We've been loving Survivor this season.
Yes.
Are you a Survivor girl, Chris?
I watched Survivor like the first few seasons, and now it's like what in like season like 40 something.
44.
Yeah. So I've like definitely fallen off. But I have actually heard on like other things that and from friends that this season has like amplified in a major way.
Yeah, the show generally has really come full circle. And Michael and I were talking about this before, where, you know, us gays, we like to repurpose things that may be overlooked or discarded. And I feel like Survivor was that kind of a show where it was just kind of still doing its own thing, not a lot of cultural impact. People weren't really talking about it. And then a lot of gays I know during the pandemic, we all became Survivor people. And the later seasons have become much more diversified. So there's a lot of queer representation, a lot of Black, Asian, like, and all of that allows Survivor to be a perfect sort of conduit to have important social conversations on a huge scale, like an ABC primetime show. But this season specifically has so many stars, including the icon of the season, gay icon herself. Her name's Carolyn Winger. She is a true delight. I'm sure you've seen her on your timeline in one meme or another. She is television gold, and she's such a sweetheart.
Heart as big as her boobs. Wacky lady. And that's what, honestly, like, it's such a wacky character, fun-loving, sweet. She's not a villain, which is why she's good. She's just crazy. Not crazy. She just acts, you know, it's just like she has these just completely unfiltered facial expressions. Like if it is in her head, it is on her face. And that's the best part of it. If anyone listening to here
and the whole
used
time,
to watch
Survivor,
this is the one to get back at. Oh yeah. Like she always looks like there's like
the most
a fly
face
somewhere on her face and she's trying to flick it off and it keeps landing somewhere
but can't
else.
use her hands.
Yeah, but she can only use her face.
And the other thing is, like, because she's so kind of like kooky, a lot of people are underestimating her on the show. Like you're watching it and you're like, oh, Carolyn's really smart and strategic and she's making these like really good plays, and everyone's kind of just like, yeah, she's a little whack job, we can keep her around. Like no one's threatened by her at all. They're all like really not seeing what she's doing, and it's so fun to watch as a viewer.
I hope she wins.
How she has to win.
Are we like far into the season, or do I have time?
I think we're maybe like 5. We just got to the merge.
It's a more truncated season than normal, so it's not like 24 episodes. It's I want to say only like 16. They're short seasons now, which is also I think is good.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. It's like sometimes, and like I don't do The Bachelor, I don't get into those because I feel like those seasons and the episodes, they get so long, and it just then I don't have enough time.
Yeah,
I cover all the things Bravo, and I can't like tune my TV to anything else. But I really want to diversify outside of Bravo, and so Survivor might be the thing because I've heard that before.
Well, you'd be so proud of
the thing
me.
About like a show like
what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. We're still on Survivor. I didn't mean to take us off. We can stay there. We can stay on the island if you have more Paris.
I was gonna say that. I've also heard that The Mole is like that's another one. That, like was really like kind of it was old, and then they like rebooted it in like a major way, and I need to like see.
Same thing with Traitors.
Oh,
I did watch.
Did you watch Traitors?
Yes.
The Mole and Traitors are basically the same show.
I watched the U.S. Traitors.
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Because
with
they have
famed
like
Survivor winner.
I don't know.
Did she win? I don't think she won on Survivor though, right? I think that was like the whole storyline of Traitors was that she had like never been a winner, and she was like I really want to win
Wait,
a series.
is that true? She's such a winner in my eyes.
I think that's like what
I'm
they were saying,
fact-checking.
was that she's not that she like had never won any of her shows, because I think she was on like several different reality series over her.
Yeah, she
career.
competed on 4 seasons of Survivor and never won. That is a crime.
This is, by the way, this is the most
That's
serious
hateful.
I've ever seen Paris, just so you know. Like,
well, because she's such a
Survivor.
Survivor icon, you know what I mean? She's like one of the first people you think of when you think of Survivor, because she's been on so many seasons and she's such a good player. So the fact that she hasn't won, and I didn't know that,
a
is
lot of really
devastating.
deserving
that win on
players
Traitors.
haven't won.
Michael, did you watch Traitors?
No, I haven't. I feel like I have
Michael, you
to.
love Alan Cumming.
I know.
Oh, amazing.
But I know, I do love Alan Cumming. I actually did a riff on a Moira Rose video, and it went really, or Alan saying something where it sounded like Moira. So I was like, oh, he sounds just like Moira Rose. And I said it like that. And then he DM'd me and he was like, you're welcome, Michael Berry. And I was like, I love you.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Because I said something, I was like, because it went really well. And I was like, God, thank you, Alan Cumming, for creating this moment. Yeah. And he DMs me with just this little voice note. And it was so sort of menacing, but nice. I was going, you're welcome, Michael Judson Berry. I was like, you sound like a really scary
so
Mrs.
hot.
Doubtfire. I did, yeah. But I love him so
But
much.
You do it like very well, and especially on Traitors, he like really goes for it. So like,
okay, well,
I feel like
have
I
to
could just
watch it then.
him do all of that.
Yeah,
you have to see it for sure.
It's great. It's very gay.
a lot of things are becoming like, I watched Top Chef as well, and this season also is like, for Top Chef, is also quite gay. So it's like everyone's getting the memo, which is nice, at least in some of the ones I've seen. Like,
when I
So
say
when you say
Traitors is gay,
yeah,
I don't mean that the cast is gay, because I don't think there's many notable
totally
gays on that one.
misunderstood.
But culturally,
Gotcha.
it is part of
I was
gay
like,
culture.
I think we need to.
Okay,
I think we
thank
need to
you.
confirm, because you were going there
Yeah.
with Top Chef, and I was like, wait, who on Traitors is gay?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, no, not quite.
No.
Survivor this season has gays and is for the gays,
This
whereas
is true.
Traitors has no gays but is still for the gays. Alan Cumming is bringing the gay on Traitors.
You just made me think,
That's true.
where you're saying how the gays are really good at sort of like reinventing deserving things. Like Paris, I've heard you say this where you were like Laura Dern, Jennifer Coolidge, like Survivor. It all of a sudden, Jennifer Tilly popped into my head. And she's on that show, Chucky. But I love Jennifer Tilly on social media. I will say, we've never really talked about this, but her Instagram is really fun. And I'm just waiting
Really?
now for like
Should I follow
a
Jennifer
Jennifer
Tilly?
Tilly moment. I think she needs to have her moment back.
I do too.
There's rumors that she's filmed for this upcoming season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Wait, really?
Not to be a housewife, but
But as a friend of?
she's like best friends with Sutton on that show, and
She's
she
friends with
has like
Sutton?
yeah, they've like talked before. They've been on Watch What Happens Live before, and so I know that like she's been at events that have filmed this season.
Okay, well
So
then maybe this
there's
would be
rumors
it.
that they may be trying to bring her in. Yeah, this might be her moment.
I would love Jennifer.
Okay.
So I was going to say, Chris, you'd be proud. I finally started watching Housewives recently because my boyfriend loves Housewives. I'd never really watched it. And we did Beverly Hills this year. And this year, the most recent Beverly Hills, which I feel like was a good one to start with because it was so...
Yeah.
Like Kathy Hilton, like everybody was a great. I fully understood why people love this show and this franchise, but I can only imagine Jennifer Tilly thrown in the mix. That would be great.
Well, because I don't think that because Rinna has left, and so I think that like they don't have a villain and they don't have like somebody to sort of spice up, and like because Rinna, what made her good for the show and the storyline was like she would just say whatever like came out of her mouth.
Yeah.
And
Rinna
whether
was
you
never
have
concerned
somebody
with being
that's like
liked.
a villain or you have somebody that like a Tilly who would just say something to be kooky, but it would like potentially like stir up drama. I think that could like actually work really well.
Well, and fun to have an
Yeah,
actor.
she could be a good wild card.
Yeah. But I think like Rinna, her big thing was she approached this like she was playing a role. Like she was on a soap opera and it was a role and she didn't mind if you liked her or not because it was a character. And from everything I've heard about Denise Richards, though, when she was on, that was almost the problem where I think it was expected that she would kind of do the same thing. And then she actually tried to be genuine, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I
She was
think
very real.
there's
She
something
took it
fun
very
where you throw in
seriously.
an actress in there who's so aware that they're on television and they're like, I'm going to create a storyline and I'm going to play a character and I'm going to commit to this. Like,
Yeah.
Bring back Rinna.
Oh, Paris, that's your take?
Yes, I'm always Team Rinna. We need a producer. We need an actress in the mix to keep these girls guessing, keep them on their toes. We need somebody who doesn't care about how their edit's going to be. They don't care about being liked. They need to just be able to do their thing. I found my greatest bliss when we had Rinna and Eileen Davidson and when we had Rinna and Denise.
Yeah.
And I think I should just go watch Days of Our Lives, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the only place I can get that content anymore.
or Chicago the musical.
Exactly.
I'm sure she'll be in there again soon too.
Yeah, who's not in Chicago the musical?
Me.
She literally, she'll do anything. So you'll see Rinna pop up on something again.
Oh, for sure.
I love
Yeah, no,
shamelessness as a quality.
Rinna and I are not friends. I am blocked by Rinna. So
Really?
What?
Rinna blocked you?
Yes.
Chris, what did you do?
Yes.
I have to leave this podcast at once.
I may have likened her to an ex-president gaslighting one of the women, and I think
Really?
maybe an offensive gif.
Ooh.
And after that, she came for me,
She did.
and
Wow.
we had like
Care
a
for
brief
that.
back and forth.
But what a compliment that she
No.
came for you herself. I mean, look at you go. That's something to be admired, that you got blocked by Rinna.
It's not the first. I'm blocked by Nene and one of the
No.
housewives of Melbourne.
No, I love
Shannon
Nene.
Nene.
Door on the OC, and I.
Wow,
Love
you just
Shannon.
love taking these women on, don't you?
I used to
Just
more than I
another
do
notch
now.
in your bedpost.
Now that I'm doing this more, I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't say certain things about them because like they, it's more of a platform for them to like actually hear opinions. So
Yeah.
I try not to like take them on the same way that I used to. But yeah, Twitter used to be a wild west.
Oh,
Listen,
I feel
this
like
can be an outreach episode for Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna, we are extending an olive branch.
yes.
Chris
Let's-
is happy to be unblocked, right, Chris?
Let's reopen the lines of communication.
Yeah.
I can't promise what will be said.
That's the
Maybe a little lunch.
Yeah. Ooh, a little boozy brunch. Iron it all out. My God, Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, did you see like, because they're talking about Wild West, and you see NPR is the first major news source to leave Twitter.
I didn't see that. No.
They announced like, I love NPR, but I think that's a big sign when NPR is like, we can't be associated with this platform anymore. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
It's the verification of it all. That's the reason.
is that why?
Because now anybody can be
Right.
verified, and they removed the feature that would tell you if somebody was verified because they were like a legitimate, respectable person of note or source of note, or if they paid for their verification. So now you can't tell the difference between the two, meaning everybody that was credible is now potentially, it's a fake account that just spent $8 a month to get the blue check.
Yeah, and it's really dangerous for a news outlet. So it makes sense because like they are probably like at NPR, but then someone else comes in and creates at NPR official and buys the blue check, and then everyone's like reading that as if it's like the news. And so I could see why that makes sense. So yeah, I am a little worried about Twitter. I feel like more and more people do keep sort of leaving the platform, and maybe that's a healthy thing for us. Maybe we need less of that so that I can't come for Housewives, and and we need less
Chris on Twitter
opportunities for people to go after each other.
That's hysterical.
I will say the verification of it all is getting kind of messy across all platforms. Even Instagram is now rolling out their like paid verification, and it's kind of like really blurring the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, how are you like paying for your status? And like then it takes away all credibility. And so that's it's a little strange, and I don't really understand, but I guess everyone's got to monetize in these days.
It's like a weird nebulous space right now. I hope it settles down soon.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask you guys, but obviously you guys like have so much chemistry on the podcast, and then on this, I can tell in all of your shared opinions, and even when you don't, like I feel like you guys like convince the other one to kind of come around.
We try.
We are both easily convinced by the other.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
How did you guys meet, and like what's your story?
It was a dark alley.
Michael and I.
In Long Island City.
You can actually find footage of us meeting. It's all available to watch. When Michael Judson Berry and I met, it was on the show Worst Cooks in America, Viral Sensation, season 25. That is where we met. And the first day I didn't know that you guys met on set. Yeah, we'd never met before. First day on set, we immediately just like hit it off. We're throwing jokes back and forth. And I was like, oh, he's quick. He's fun. And all throughout filming, we were like, oh, we need to do a podcast. We got to do a podcast. Like, what would it be about? And we pitched a bunch of different ideas. And then eventually we ended up with The Social Dose.
I love it.
It was kismet, as you say.
Is that how you remember it, Michael?
Very similarly, yeah. I remember a lot of you walking around me in circles, making fun of me like a big snarky stork. And then me trying my best to like keep up with you and then kind of failing and then messing up my dishes. And then us just sort of walking around holding pinkies. Sabotage. It was adorable. You constantly trying to drink wine on set and Chef Anne getting upset about it. It was, I mean, you made that experience so much fun. Like I was like, oh, sorry, Paris, but you're stuck with me for life. We're insta best friends.
I feel like that's how all like gay best friends start, is like casting shade at one of the others.
That's kind of how
enemies. Circling.
Our best friend. And you introduced me to Showgirls while we were filming. We had one evening we were in the hotel and Paris.
He had never seen Showgirls.
And then I made you watch a Marilyn Monroe movie. Like it was adorable. We were like kids having sleepovers. It was a lot of fun.
That's amazing. So
yeah, we were supposed to we were quarantined because it was COVID, but we were allowed to go into each other's rooms. And actually one of our castmates thought, because he was like, this is weird, one of our castmates was spying on my room from his room, because the way the hotel was designed, he could see my window from his. And he was like, so Paris, you've been having visitors over, I see. Are you and Michael fucking? And I was like, ew, first of all, you're a creep. He sent me photos of his view from his window. And he thought Michael and I were hooking up.
No, it was just us laying there watching Showgirls and me being like, oh, that's why people say Versace.
And me being like, you know what? I finally get Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. She was really talented.
There was nothing. It was the most innocent thing ever.
Okay, but this guy had photos. That's really strange.
Yeah, he was.
I know. And it didn't even occur to me as strange in the moment, because I was like, oh, send me those. Those are cute. And then later people were like, that's a crazy thing for him to have done. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess it kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have brought that to the producers and been like, I don't know. Can I move my room, please?
Oh, I did. Awful. To be fair, that was our first ever stalker. And I think that's a really special moment. I think that's how you know it's a real friendship, is when you have a stalker, right? I think we did it. We got it fast. I think that's a sign, Paris.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
The press just can't stay away.
Well, and I understand why. I mean, now you guys have the podcast and people should definitely not stay away from that. I know that we have to wrap because I know, Michael, you've got company that you've got to make sure that you can entertain. And Paris, I know you've got to get back to your fiance. And so
I do. We have a fitting today.
Oh,
what are you fitting? Sorry.
Some event. Don't worry. Not important.
I loved that question. So tell everyone, as we're wrapping, you open up the best part of the podcast. So what are you fitting?
Yeah, no, not interesting.
Where can everyone find you guys and follow along so they can tune in to more of this?
So you can find the Social Dose podcast anywhere you find your podcasts: Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, the other platforms. And you can also find us on the socialdosepodcast.com. As for us, you can find me at Paris Nicholson everywhere and anywhere.
And I am at Judson Berry. Pretty much anywhere and everywhere, except for Twitter, but it's fine. I don't do much on there anyway. But especially Instagram, TikTok, at Judson Berry.
And we'll all be leaving Twitter soon, so find them on the other platforms. Awesome. Well, this was super fun. Thank you guys for coming by and chatting pop culture and sharing some of this insider behind the scenes footage of Worst Cooks, because I'm still reeling from that. I'm gonna need to see these photos. This is wild.
I know. I want them so bad.
I thought you had them. All right.
No, I didn't ask at the moment. I didn't think to, and now I'm scared to reach out to him.
I'll reach out to him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. No, you didn't.
It's for the best.
I hope that you guys will come back and do this again. Especially maybe when the Barbie movie comes out, we'll have to like decide whether or not it was worth the hype.
I hope it is.
I know, me too. But thank you guys so much. For you all out there, thank you for listening. Don't forget to rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode of The Gist. You can follow me at CM Vetrano on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and probably not Twitter for much longer, as we've talked about. But thanks so much, and don't forget to tune in next week. Bye.
Bye.